But, you know, I think he's got that kind of dignity about himself that he'll do it if he can do it honestly, and if he genuinely believes that he could bring the club forward, he might do it. But I don't think he's in that position now. He's managing in the Swedish second division, is he not? And, you know, as for Jordan Larsson, I know a couple of newspapers suggest that, you know, Manchester United were looking at him at one point. Maybe he will, but, you know, my fear with that is he'd come in and then he'd be loaned out to a Kilmarnock or loaned out to a St. Mirren or loaned out to a Morton at some point, as has happened, you know, a few of the players you've already mentioned, you know, young lads coming through.
But then see what you're saying about, just to jump back very quickly, I hear what you're saying, right, and that would be his reasons for doing it, right, what would he bring to it, but, right, he could weigh that out, and if he was to look at it and put his plus points and his negative points, the negative point, what's he going to bring to it? The plus point is, he's going to definitely win the league. He's going to get allowed to bed themselves in for a year, right? And that in itself would allow him to hit the ground running when they come in the next year. And I reckon that, you know, but would there be a better time? I'm saying that I think Lennon may possibly go, because if he's not ready to commit to build a new team for the next 2-3 years, or if somebody at Celtic saying, look, we need some freshness, we need you out and out so we can get somebody in for next year, then why not Larsson? Because who is he going to say he comes in, he might not win the treble, but he's got as every bit of chance as doing it as anybody else coming in, because the real competition isn't there for this next season. So why not give a freshness? Who else? If you put a fresh manager in, who else is going to get as many people in?
Yeah, you're making perfect sense. And, you know, let's be honest, he is at this stage more experienced as a manager than Lennon was when Lennon took the job.
There you go. He's maybe got a bit more experience.
He has, yeah. And you know, so I suppose he starts from the same point as Lennon did, and Lennon went on and did something. You know, for the first couple of seasons, he did pretty good.
Let's be honest.
You know, I wouldn't complain if he did it and would get out of it. I'd be there for the first game. I'd be there for the first game, and it'd be a good event. But
probably never going to happen in our wildest dreams. But you'd take a little shot. But I mean, would it be? But then the only thing is, one of the reasons he probably turned it down is, would it spoil his legacy? How would he be remembered, or how would he want to be remembered?
Yeah. The rumours that he was going to come back at one point, and that he turned it down because he didn't want to spoil his legacy. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. They need to do something. The board need to do something, and I don't know whether or not they can do something that will improve the entire.
Who else is good enough?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose the obvious candidate would be Lambert, but I don't know if Lambert has not run its course down at Villa. But even Lambert wouldn't excite people as much as Larsson would. But I honestly don't know whether it's changes on the pitch, or whether it's, you know, changes at the coaching level, or something within the ground. They you know, the board need to do something, because the season ticket sales, whatever way you dress it up, whatever little excuse you put down on it, season ticket sales will not be as good this year as they have been, or at this renewal as they have been the last few years, and it'll be a combination of a number of factors. It'll be a combination of what's going on in the pitch. It'll be a combination of the disassociation between the fans in general, and disassociation in particular between, you know, that element of fans that the Green Brigade are the most prominent members of, and the board need to do something to close that gap rather than widen it. And I don't have the answers to it. If I did, I'd probably be living in Glasgow now trying to do something about it. But the club really need to you know, bring us all a little bit closer together.
Well, I think that, you know, the Larsson situation could be a win-win in a lot of ways. It would paper over a lot of cracks for the board, undoubtedly. Whether they've got the cojones to think it up and go for it, and whether they've got the balls to actually convince them to do it is another thing, you know. and go over all of his objections, you know. And
do we want to paper over cracks, or do we want to build something proper? Do we want to build proper foundations?
Well, then the reason why I was it was a two-pronged thing. It was looking to get his boy in to see, well, you know, his boy was brought up in a class region. The reason why he left there was he wanted his boy to have a different education, but now he's of that age, so why not? If his boy's half class region and he had a good time, and you know, maybe he thinks he's get something to do, achieve, to come back. So I reckon there's something there. I reckon there's something there, and it's something that Celtic.
I think if there's a chance it would happen, and first of all, if Lennon decides to move on, there's a few big ifs there. It would be a huge mistake if the club didn't at least sound him out and say, look, what do you think? We'd be prepared to back you on the transfer fund, and you know, maybe Nilby will want to stick around, maybe Gary Parker will, maybe John Parker will want to stick around as well. But you know, if they could say to him, there's funds there to bring in players, and you'll have the support of, you know, the coaching staff and the likes of Danny McGrain and so on. It would be wrong if the club didn't give it the appropriate amount of consideration that it deserves.
Because they're only going to take into consideration, you said there Paul Lambert, who's already said he didn't want it, Owen Coyle, who was already approached, who turned him down, and then you're dealing with people who are not in a job, so you're talking maybe Malky Mackay, or you're going down the road of an untried, untested, somebody outside, and do we really want to go back down that road? At least, you know, if you've gone with someone who knows what it's all about as an ex-player, and someone who's a legend, well, you tick two boxes right away. He's got the feeling and the empathy of a lot of good, or the people behind him, you know, and all his mistakes or anything he does is naivety. We'll be prepared to say, oh, we'll let go because of who he is. But you go and get some Joe Schmo, and as soon as things start to get touched up, then we're going to be on his back, dirty. But, you know, if it's Henrik, he's going to get the goodwill for, like, you know, and like I say, for the first year, it's a win-win because he's going to get the league right away. And the next year, you know, when they come in, it probably might be tough, but I probably should see it through. So right away, he's maybe got two in a row in the bag, and he's cut his teeth, you know. It's ideal, mate. Get it happen. I've got his number. I'm going to phone him tomorrow. I'm going to put on I'm going to perfect my Lowell accent and say, look, Henrik, it's not Tommy here, it's Peter. We want you in. Come over and bring Jordan.
There you go. Right, well, listen, Tommy, I suppose I better try and fall back asleep.
God bless, mate. Thanks for phoning.
Take care of yourself, and I'll be keeping an ear in as to what you're getting up to on this little phone-in show. And
just in case, because a lot of people always ask, are you on Twitter?
Me? I am, yeah.
What's your Twitter handle? Because a lot of people always ask, if you like the cut of your jib, they'll say, what's his Twitter? So what's your Twitter?
Well, it's LTM67, but, you know, for those who know me in Kerrydale Street, I post even more shite on Twitter than I do as a Kerrydale Street poster. So there you go. Listen, so Tommy, have a good one.
It's 1-0 to the Kerrydale Street tonight then, because the huddle board normally step up to the plate, but I decided to put a wee one on there in the Kerrydale and you stepped up to the plate. So 1-0 to KDS. Shocking state of affairs for the huddle board, but well done.
There's enough infighting going on. Don't go making it worse than it is.
Just let you go on one thing. How can we stop the infighting?
I don't know. Look, there's a bit of snobbery. Like, I mean, I know people sort of say, oh, you know, Kerrydale Street is the middle class or working class, or sorry, the upper class Celtic supporters side of things. And to be honest, I don't look at Celtic minded. I don't look at the huddle board, so I can't criticise or you know, speak out for them, because I would be coming from a standpoint of ignorance. It's one of the things that's always kind of frustrated me, in that it's one of those cliches where there's more that we share, there's more we have in common than separates us. But look, I honestly don't have an answer to that question, but I wish someone did.
Indeed.
Maybe the answer to that question is Henrik Larsson. There you go.
Maybe indeed. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, Lubo. I'll speak to you soon, bro, yeah?
Take care of yourself, Tommy.
God bless you. Hail.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Right. Stay there. Oh, we got a missed call. Who's that? Sean boy. What's up, old Shawnee boy? What's happening, my man? Right. Before we get Shawnee boy on, we'll play we've not got a Shawnee boy song, but we'll play you Danny boy. How's that? You like a Danny boy? Shawnee boy?
And the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, 'cause I play football the Celtic way. It's been 10 years, long time indeed. We stood with pride and took defeat. Our beloved team, our ancient ground, has been rebuilt. A club reborn with a 40 clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, how they play football the Celtic way. The Canny Road, the winds of change, and the things he brought will long remain.